Start recording. Okay. So in the last class, right, we have covered overloading and all, right? The main method overloading, right? var args, right? So today we're
Yeah,
going to start with inheritance. Okay. So basically, this is a very important topic. Already in OOPS concept, we know what is inheritance is, right? As a definition, right? As a concept, we know what is inheritance. But right now, we are going to read through what is the type, how to implement and all everything. Okay. So inheritance is a process of writing a new class by inheriting a commonly used state and behavior of an existing class. What it means, right? So let assume I have a class called A, right? So class A is there, okay? It's have a property int A, int B. It's have two property, okay? Let assume if I'm defining a new class B, okay? And it's have a property called int C and int D. Sorry, int D. Okay. Okay. So now let assume if I want to make this class as a parent class, right? So let assume your father, right? Your father is having certain properties, right? So you also want certain properties, right? The property in the sense of monetary sense, like real estate, house, and all. So your father house is also your house, and the house that you build, that is also your house, right? Indirectly or directly, right? Similar
yeah,
fashion, similar way, like if you see here, right? The class A, which is a parent, if class B try to access all the properties of class A or reuse those property, right? So simply what it can do is class B will extend. Okay, extend is a keyword that we use in inheritance in Java. Okay, so let's assume I am just extends. Okay, A. Okay, so what I did, normally how we declare a class, we use a keyword called extends. So which purpose we are using this to make a parent to B, right? Which have a B have two properties. So if someone asks you how many properties C have, so you can say that, sorry, C I'm saying how many properties class B have. So how many properties class B have? C and D, and also it can access A and B. So as for definition, when you go, so we'll say inheritance is the process of writing a new class by inheriting commonly used state and behavior. So right now, this is state, right? A and B is a state. Let's assume we have defined one behavior called M1. Okay? Behavior in the sense method or function. So class B can also access this one. Okay, M1. And class B also can have their own method, own behavior. Sorry. Right? So now you understand what this
yeah,
definition is explaining. So definition is saying inheritance is the process of writing new class by inheriting commonly used state and behavior of existing class. Okay, this is fine. This is understandable, right? Definition. Okay, we'll move to the next. Okay. So now we see we are having two classes. A, right? Class A and class B, who extend to A, right? So now class A, what in all terms we can use for class A, right? So we can call it, as already we have discussed, super class, master class, okay, and super class, master class, base class, right, or parent class, right? So we can call class A as a super, master, base, and parent, right? So here we have class A, right, which is super, master, base, parent, right? What about class B? What we call it? So class B, we call it
sub,
subclass, sub, slave, right? Slave already like usually not used, but in some books they also mention slave. Okay, then we can also use child, we can use derived. Clear, right? Child, derived, sub, and slave. Clear to you all, right? Okay. So now, so why we are having, so usually what happens when you go to interview, okay, you give the definition, okay. Inheritance is the process of creating a new class by inheriting commonly used state and behavior of existing class. But why we need it? What is the use of that, right? So it's basically in code, right? It's code, basically it is used for, like in Java, basically it is used for reusability. What is means reusability? Reusability means when you already declare a properties or behavior, right? Again you will declare, let assume I have two classes. Okay, let take an example why I'm what I'm saying. Let me change the color. Okay, okay, let assume I have a class A here, class A. Okay, which a property int A. We'll not take class A, we'll take another class. We'll take animal. Okay, class animal. Okay, it's have property int leg, int hand. I'm just randomly adding a properties. Okay, and I add two method, speak. Also add walk or run, anything. Okay, so now it's have two properties, two state and two behavior, right? Two function and two attributes. So we can also say that animal is having legs and hands. I'm just saying that. So let's assume why we need why we are using inheritance. So already have legs and hands. Let's assume in the same software I'm defining another class called dog. Okay, so I've defined, one second. So I will have one second. Let me enter Sushant. Okay, so let assume I'm defining class dog. Okay, so leg, hand, speak, and walk already there. So again, if inheritance is not there, I will write here int leg, int hand, or what is the walk, right? And what is the speak? And you will write system.out.println bark, right? So what I'm doing? This class is also having a same property. This is also going to have a same property. I might here have one extra property int. Sorry, not int. I will take a string here. Okay. I will take one more property just to explain. So string type. Type is which type of dog it is. Okay. So if there is no inheritance, first you will define animal and then you will have this. But if you go with inheritance, what happened? So let me use this. What happened? So already in animal we are having leg and hand. So again we no need to declare. So I will remove leg and hand here. Right? What other property already animal have? Speak and walk behavior, right? So I will also remove here speak and walk, right? So if I remove, what property I left with? Type, right? So only type I have to declare, other I can reuse. How I can reuse? So by using keyword call extend, extends. This is e extends. What to extend? A parent class. What is a parent class here? Animal, right? So now this dog, right, have how many properties? One is type, which is their own property. It's also inherit this property: legs, hand, speak, and walk. Clear to you all?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying in logical terms, right? If you go a real world, right? Uh, if you see yourself as an object, right? So you are like you yourself a byproduct of your parents, right? You see in yourself there are certain features you will get from your father, and there are certain features you will get from your mother, right? And that is a biological feature I'm talking about. Along with that, you also inherit their properties, right? The money that have, and the real estate property that they have acquired in their life, right? So that also belong to you, even though you are not earn it, right? They have earned it, but still, because we are following a law of inheritance, right? So you are inheriting those property from your parents. If they have loan, that also you will inherit in some of the cases. Correct or not? Right? Okay. Clear to you all? Now you all are able to understand what is inheritance is, right? So
Yeah.
Yes.
we'll discuss a type. Okay. So we have simple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance, and a hybrid inheritance. So we'll go through each of that. What is simple inheritance? What is multi-level inheritance? What is multiple inheritance? What is hybrid inheritance? Remember one thing: inheritance, we are going to use all of your projects in your life. Let's assume you are enrolling as a software engineer. This concept you are utilizing mostly. Fine. Okay. So simple, multi-level, multiple, and hybrids. We'll discuss simple first, and then we'll discuss others. Okay. So now we'll go with simple inheritance. What is the meaning of simple inheritance? Simple inheritance means there is only one superclass and one subclass. So let's assume you have a class parent. We will have one child, B. Okay. There will be only one superclass and one subclass. Okay. So what does means? How we'll define that? So we'll define a class called P, which have certain properties, and then you have a class called B, who extends class P, right? So parent and base. Clear? So this is called simple inheritance because there is only one superclass, only one subclass, only one superclass, only one subclass. Clear? Okay. Now, now we'll read multi-level inheritance. Okay, what is multi-level inheritance? So multi-level inheritance, in similar to simple inheritance, the only thing is that only one superclass can have only one direct subclass and as many indirect subclass. What does mean as many indirect subclass means? Let's assume you just define what is parent, right? Then we have base, sorry, child, right? So parent, child, and then again another child, C1, then again another child called C2. So if this type of flow you have in your inheritance, so we call it multi-level, because see there are levels of inheritance, right? This is one level, this is one level, this is one level, this is one level. Okay, so we can say that in multi-level inheritance, okay, let me define this first and then we'll go through the definitions. Okay, so what happened? I will define a class called A, sorry, class called P. Okay, okay. Now another class called C. C extend to whom? C will extend to P. EX, T and DS extends P. Clear? Okay. Now we have class C1. C1. C1 extend to whom? C1 extend to
C.
C.
D or C.
C. This it will extend to C. Then C2 extend to C1.
C1.
Clear? So this is called, what do you call it? Multi-level, because we are having level. You guys are able to understand? Right now we have to understand this. What is type of inheritance? Then we'll go into the code and all. Okay, so this is clear to you all? Okay, so
Yes.
if you go to, like, if you go through the definition wise, there is one point. One superclass can have only one direct subclass, and subclass and many indirect subclasses. It means one superclass can have one direct subclass and subclass as many indirect subclasses. So like C is having C1 as a subclass, C1 is having C2 as a subclass, saying that. But the rule that we have to remember, one subclass can have only one direct superclass and many indirect superclasses. Okay, so what does means? So let's assume this is a subclass C2. So C2 have only one superclass and many indirect superclasses. So if you say P is a superclass to C1, right? Okay, so is it direct? It's not direct, right? It's an indirect superclass. Okay, let assume your parents, then your parents, your grandparents, then their great grandparents, right? So similar way, that is hierarchical, right? Multi-level kind of thing, right? For understanding, right? So that is multi-level, right?
Yeah.
One level, another level, and all, right? Okay,
Is it also the same like a subclass can have more subclass towards it? Like for example, class C2 can extend C also. C1 and C2 both can extend C.
C1
Is,
and C2 both can extend C. That is
yeah,
there.
is that
That is there. That is hierarchical inheritance will read. Okay.
oh, so that is not multi-level inheritance. It's
No,
only
that
the
is, yes, this is
okay,
multi-level. Multi-level is like, I will write it down. Otherwise, you will guys will get confused. Okay. So you
okay.
go through the audio. Let me write it down. Clear? So this is the definition of multi multi-level inheritance. One more definition you can say that, like, one subclass class can have only one direct super class and many indirect super class. I hope like my writing is clear. Okay. Okay. So now it's fine, right? So you good with this multi-level inheritance, right? We'll move to hierarchical inheritance. Okay. I forget to add in this. Oh, let me add here. Okay. So now we'll go through.
Mm.
Any question? Like, you are saying anything? Okay. So what is means hierarchical? And where one super class can have many direct subclasses. What is means? So let assume, let take example, one parent, one P class, okay, have multiple child classes, C1, C2, and C3. So this is called hierarchical inheritance, okay, where one superclass have multiple child class and one subclass can have only one direct superclass. Okay, that is the point. So parent can have multiple child, but child will always have one parent. It's not like this. One more parent is there. Okay, this is not allowed in hierarchical inheritance. Clear? Okay. So we'll see how we'll do that. Okay, what is the way? It's straightforward, simple. So we'll define a class P. We'll define a class. Define a class P. Close this one. Let us know it's having a property. We'll talk about property later. Now here I define a class. Class. So C1. C1 extend to whom?
P.
C1 extend to P.
P.
P. And its class is done. What about class C2? It do the same thing. So P. What about class C3? It will do the same thing. P. You guys are able to understand, right? So basically, in hierarchical inheritance, one superclass, I will write it down. One super class can have many subclasses. Okay, and one subclass in the sense C1 or C2 or C3, one subclass can have only one direct class or direct superclass. Clear? Right? So you guys are able to understand hierarchical inheritance. It's pretty straightforward. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now multiple inheritance. Okay. This is a mostly asked question. Why Java? Does Java support multiple inheritance? Okay. So always remember Java doesn't support multiple inheritance. Why Java doesn't support this? So Java doesn't support multiple inheritance because it's create a diamond problem. What type of problem it's create? Diamond problem. We'll see that what is diamond problem and all. Okay. But for timing, you know that Java doesn't support multiple inheritance, but we have to know the concept, so we are going through it. Okay. So what happened? In multiple inheritance, it's totally opposite to the hierarchical inheritance. Okay. So what is hierarchical inheritance? Anyone explain? Just now I explained like anything.
Multiple inheritance.
Hierarchical inheritance. Can you explain?
Hierarchical inheritance, if a parent class can have more than one subclass, it's a hierarchical inheritance.
Yes.
Superclass have many subclasses.
Many direct subclasses, right? But in multiple inheritance, just it's opposite to the hierarchical inheritance. Okay. So what opposite means? What can be opposite of that? The opposite of that is I will create a diagram. So let assume parent 1, parent 2, and only one child. Sorry, arrow will go like this because when we inherit, right? So you have to point to the master class. Clear? So what it means in multiple inheritance, one child can have a multiple parents. Okay, so what issue it will create in Java? In real life, okay, let's assume if one child can inherit a multiple parents, so what will happen? So that we'll discuss. First, we'll discuss this flow, how we can do that. Okay, so basically, if I have to implement in the code, how we will do that? Let me do that first and then we'll discuss. So I will create a class called P1, right? A class called P2, a class called C, right? Okay. So because C, we are trying to achieve a multiple inheritance. So C have to extend whom? C have to extend A and B, right? Okay. Let me try to extend A and B, and then curly braces start and end. So this is this line, right? This line is not supported in Java. Okay, Java doesn't support multiple inheritance with classes. With classes, remember, Java doesn't support multiple inheritance with classes. There is a concept called interface. We'll talk about that. Okay, so always remember, Java doesn't support multiple inheritance with classes. Java support multiple inheritance with references. With references, sorry, interfaces. Okay, that will lead interface. Okay, so with interface, Java support multiple tens. Clear to you all? Okay, so we'll read about diamond program and all. We'll see. So basically, diamond program is what exactly? Okay, 1 second. So diamond program is, let assume, I will just explain a bit and then we'll move on. Okay. So let assume this is a class, this is B class. Okay. Now this is C class. Okay. Okay. So what will happen? Now C. C is what C used to do. C is inheriting A and B. Now we have C. Now here we are having D and E. Okay. D and E. Right. So they have inherited this. Okay. Let assume if A inherit this one and B inherit this one, right? Okay. So now if I ask you, who is the parent of C? Who is the parent of C? So what you will say?
A is a direct and D is indirect. D
Okay.
and E. A
Okay.
and B is direct.
Correct. Who is the parent of D then?
C and A and B
Okay.
also.
So now you see here a circle. C,
Yeah.
A is a parent of C and D is a parent of C, right?
Yes.
So this is this type of issue, right? We'll talk more about this, okay, when we discuss interview question. So this type of ambiguity Java doesn't support. Okay. So but in C++ you have this kind of features, okay, where in class you get a support of multiple inheritance. One class can directly inherit a multiple classes, okay, but Java it doesn't support. So this is called star program, okay, or multi-level program, you can say that. So this we doesn't support, okay, clear? So this is invalid. So if you define also, it's pretty critical. You cannot define in Java this thing, okay, clear? So this type of where one class doesn't have two class as a parent, big no in Java. But with interface we can achieve. Why with interface we can achieve that also we can talk, okay. So what issue will get? Basically, you guys are thinking, okay, what issue will get? So if right now I say there is three issue, okay. So this three issue will create a big mess in Java. The super implementation that we'll talk later. Okay, so how super will work? Like this is the one issue. Method resolution order, in which other method will get resolved. Okay, so that is the two reason for Java is avoiding, like as per my knowledge, Java is avoiding multiple inheritance. Okay, clear? So it will create a mess. C is parents of A is parents of D is parents of C. So there is if so it's like your grandparents become your child, right? Which is not possible in real life, and Java represent a real life scenarios. So that is the reason Java doesn't support this. Clear to you all?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, okay. So if anyone asks why Java with is there any chance Java support uh, multi multiple inheritance? So you will say yes, Java support multiple inheritance with interfaces. That will talk when we go through the interface. Okay. Now the another topic, another type of inheritance which is called hybrid. Hybrid, Java support hybrid with what? So hybrid is a combination of two or more inheritance type. So you know that hybrid means. So how many inheritance we have here? 1 second. So we have simple, multi-level, multiple, hybrid, and hierarchical. This is not supported by Java, right? So remove this. Don't avoid. So is combination of any of these, right? Or hierarchical. Combination of any of these three will called hybrid. Okay. So we'll see what hybrid is now. So hybrid is a combination of simple, multi-level, or hierarchical inheritance combination. Let me draw one diagram and then you guys have to tell me is it supported by Java or not. Okay. So I will draw a two diagram. You guys have to tell me. Okay. Which one is supported by Java? This is A. We have B, C, D, and E. Okay. Combination of hierarchical inheritance and multi-level inheritance. Right? Okay. Now here we have A and B. Okay. Now we have C. 1 second. Okay. So now which one is supported by Java? As per like right now we have discussed, right? Last 20 minutes we are discussing. So based on that, which one is supported by Java? As per your knowledge. Recently we have
The
discussed
right side.
this right one you are saying.
The first one.
Yeah, the
Right?
right one. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is supported by Java because this is a combination of what? Hierarchical, right? And multi-level. There is levels, right? If you just see this, right? There is one level, right? And hierarchical also. So one parents have two child. So that is the reason this is supported. Okay, what is the issue with this? This is having a combination of multiple inheritance. So this is an example of multiple inheritance, right? Which is not supported by Java. That is the reason this combination is not supported. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've created class P and class C, which have property A and B, and then I've created a respective object of those classes, and I'm just printing the value. Let me run this. So when I run this, it's got print 20 and 50, which is clear to you all, right? Okay. So can class P object print, sorry, class C object, right, can print a property of class A? We'll try. So what is saying? Cannot resolve symbol A because the class C don't know about A, right? So it cannot print. Simple. Okay. So now what I will do, class P is for parent class, C is for child class. Let me extend the parents. So I'm using extends keyword and I'm typing the parent class name, right? Okay. Now I will try to, this is child class, right? So as our definition, a child class can access to parent class, right? Okay, we'll see. So I will try to add A. So it's able to access, right? Okay, let me print this one. It's 2020. So first it's printing for this object, which is parents class object, then it's printing for child class objects. Okay, what we'll do now, we'll copy paste child class. So child is having two properties now as per inheritance law, B and A. So let me print both. Okay, A and B. Okay, let me comment it out this first one. Okay, let me put a comment on that. Okay. So now child C is able to access both, right? A and B. Because it's a child, so it can access both the property. We'll see like parents, right? Parents can able to access both the properties or not. We'll see that. Okay. So let me copy this one and paste it here and replace this object with obj. Okay. What is happening here? Like you see, parents is not able to access the child properties, right? That P can only able to access A, not B, right? So clear to you all? This part is clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now we'll see another example of that. Okay. We'll declare a property then. Property, not behavior. Okay. So in that one, I will have a behavior called M1. Okay. And here we have behavior called M2. Behavior in the sense method or function or module, right? Let me return a void. Okay, I will not return anything, I will not do anything because just learning which one will get access of this method, right? Parents object or child object, that we are learning here. Okay, let me print. So I'm just here writing this is PM1, right? And here we write C child M2. Okay, clear to you all? Okay, so now what I will do, I will try to access those behavior or method also. Okay, let me put comment here. Okay, let it be. Let me copy this one. Okay, and so this is a child object, right? So basically what we learn, a child object can access both attribute and behavior, like method, data member or methods, right? Okay, so basically as per the inherited definition or rules, a object of C can access A and M1 both. So we'll see that. So here already see that object of C is able to access A and B. Now about the method. So let me access the method M1. Okay. What it's saying? Make, okay. So basically, 1 second. We cannot print it here because it's not returning anything, right? So we cannot print it. Okay. Now I will try to access M2. So object of C able to access both, right? Let's see. P M1 and C M1. So parents M1 also and child also, both it's able to access, right? Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now we'll same thing we'll try with the parent. Okay. So it will give the similar response. I'm just going through a basic so that you guys will, like, if anyone not able to, they can also able to understand, right? So you'll see the parents class object can only access their methods and all, right? It's not able to access child class method, right? Okay. clear to you all till here? Okay, let me comment this out. Okay, so what we'll do now, I am having here A and B, right? Okay, let me print this. I'm just changing this print statement. Okay, I'm writing system.out.println. Okay, I'm printing here. So parent A value. What is the value here? So let assume I want to print that. I'm just simply writing A, right? Okay. Now system dot s out. C child B value plus B. Okay. Similarly, inside a method, okay. So let me add this. So parents value of A, child value of B, right? Inside the method, I've written. So what I try to explain here, in internal method also, you can directly point to the, it's not only in main method you can access and all. Internally also you can reuse this, right? It's having A here. I can perform certain logic on A inside the class C, and method of class C is M2 inside that also. So basically in subclass method also you can directly access the values from a super class, you can perform your logic. Clear? Okay. So now M1 and M2, right? So let me do one thing. I have C object, I'm calling M1, and also I'm calling M2. Let me run. What is called? Variable B class instance dot P. So it's saying this variable B is not able to access in M1, right? Because it's a parent class. So internal implementation also not able to access this. Okay. Clear? Okay. Till here, any doubt if you guys have till here?
No.
Okay, fine. Then what we'll do, we'll move to another example because we have to go through a certain examples, then only we can understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I remove this class, right, it's working fine, which is clear to you all, right? Okay. Now we have
Yeah.
P, we have class P, we have class C, which is extend to P, right? We'll declare one more class called, we'll declare one more class. You remember? Multi-level inheritance. Let me declare class D. Okay, which extend to C. So what it's become? It's become multi-level, right? So now this is D, right? So P value of A, it's printing C value of B. Let me add one more here, a property inside D, int small d equal to 60. I'm just adding D here. Okay, right? So now if you see here, who is the parents of C? D. Who is the parents of D? Basically P, right? So parents of D is C, parents of C is P, right? So a superclass of all P, and the subclass is D, right? So this is called multi-level, right? So in multi-level, what happened? The subclass, right? The last subclass can access the property. Let your great grandparents' properties are there, so you can access, right? You can access your mother and father property. Also, you can access your grandparent property. Correct or not? Correct. Similar fashion.
Yes.
Similar fashion, class D also access all this property of class C and class P. Right? Clear to you all? So if I do create an object of D, and if I call M2 method, we'll see what it's printing. D obj D equal to new obj D dot M2. Oh, 1 second. What I have given? I given M2, M1, M2. Let me give M3. Okay. Later we'll see why I have given M3 and all. And we'll see.
So they cannot have the same method name?
They can have that. We'll learn in method overriding. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is the reason I'm not going to that example now. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
It will consume time and then again I have to explain it, right?
Okay. Okay.
So I'm avoiding that example right now. Okay.
Okay.
So you see here M3, right? So M3, which is a method of class D, is able to access A, B, and D, right? A, B, and D, the property of all the superclasses, right? Similar fashion, it will also work for what we call methods, right? Behaviors. Okay. Okay, this is clear. Fine. So basic idea that I want to pass here is how you can access those method and how access those property. Now there are tricks that have that anyhow we'll learn. Okay. Okay. Now we'll see. We'll take another example, but it's getting populated here. Okay. So let me create another example because so example 2. Let me do like this. Okay. Okay. So I will go very straightforward. We'll take certain examples and we'll check the flow of the classes and all. So I have a class. Okay. Let me take a class called parent. Okay. And then have a class called child. Will extend to parent. Okay. Okay. Now you'll see here like it's a basic flow that I just want to make you guys understand. So I'm just taking a constructor here. Okay. Now we are learning how class got loaded, how the flow will go when we create a child object. Okay. So I'm just writing here return or println inside parent constructor. Okay. And then we have two blocks here. One is instance block. So we'll just copy this one. You guys come to know that what exactly I'm doing. Okay. Basically, I'm just elaborating a flow, how when you create a child object, what happened. Okay. So I have a static here. I'm like inside parent instance block. Okay. And now I'll copy same thing and post in static block. So I will write here a static block. Okay. Let me copy everything and go to child. Okay. So clear, I have declared one constructor. I have declared an instance block. I have declared a static block. Clear? Okay. So
So
now
in a static block, bhaiya, so write means print only inside a static block, na? So you write inside child instance block. a
Okay,
static
sorry.
block.
Okay, inside child static block. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, clear? Okay. So now we'll create an object of child. Okay. So you guys have to tell me what output we will get. Can any one of you? So what happens when you create an object? So this will get invoked, right? This is constructor. Before that, a static block will get executed. At the time of object creation, this one also will get invoked, right? What else? Because it's a child. So can a child take a birth without parent? In real life, no, right? A child need a
No.
parent, right? So I'm not,
No.
is there I'm creating a parent's object? No, right? I'm creating a child object. Let me see what is happening. Okay. Okay. So what it's doing? Inside parent instance static block. Inside child static block. Inside parent instance block. Is inside parents constructor. Inside child instance block. Inside child constructor. So you guys able to know the flow? Which object you are creating? You are creating a child object. But which constructor is getting invoked?
Parent constructor is getting invoked.
Parent constructor is getting invoked. So what does it mean? It means like whenever you create a child object, parents object will get created by default. Clear?
Okay.
Yeah, but you because you have not created, right? So you cannot access that one, right?
Okay.
But
So
there is
here, what if the parent is only the parent object is created, and what will be the output then? Then the child uh, blocks in the child class will not be invoked.
no, it's not like that. See,
Okay.
I'm creating an object of child, right? So basically, what is happening
Yeah.
when you create a child object? What happened internally? So the first thing happen,
Okay.
it will load a parent class first. Okay. Basically, what happened when you create any class, the class will get loaded into the JVM, right? Once class got loaded, the static block will get executed, right? That we have learned
Yes.
in previous class,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Once a static block is get loaded, what happen after that? Instance block will get executed, right? And then
Yes.
constructor
The
will get
constructor.
invoked, right? So
Yeah.
here in this flow, I'm creating a child object. So what happened first? So first, JVM will look for parent. It will load the parent first. Okay. Once the parent is loaded, it will execute the parent static block, and then it will load the child class. Then it will execute child block, right? Because parents is loaded first, right? Then parents object
Okay.
will get created, right? When parents object will get created, before that parents instance block will get executed. See here, this block, right? Child parents instance block, right? See, it's getting printed here, right? Then parents
Okay.
constructor, then parents constructor, right? Then child instance block, and then child at the last, after happening after all these steps, then child object is get created. If I would not override this one, if I using default, you don't come to know that what is happening, right? What is the get flow? That is the reason I have override that one, so that you guys know what is happening when you create a child object. This is clear to you all?
Yeah.
So basically, if you know this, right, so you will understand super, this, keywords and all for ahead, okay? Okay. So now we'll see what and all access. So you guys can try multiple thing. I don't want to invest time in that. If you got any issue, so what you have to do it, I will tell you like how to do practice and all. Because if I try to cover all this scenario, right, I can explain it. You guys have to explore it. So let assume I'm having a, right? So you try to access this A inside constructor, inside this block, inside static block, inside child, inside this block. Can I access this A inside instance block or inside the constructor? Let me check this out. So to access, okay, let me access system.out.println A. Okay, so I'm able to access this, right? Okay. Now, everywhere I'm trying to access A, right? So in a static block, we cannot access non-static variables, right? That one of the lessons you got, right? So you, and then you run this one. What you will happen to see. So it's inside parent constructor, then it's printing 0 because it's going to, executing parents constructor, right? So it's print 0. See here, parents constructor, sorry, parents constructor, it's printing, no, it's not a inside parents constructor, it's the child constructor, it's printing 0. And then again inside this one, it's printing 0, right? Instance block. Clear? So like that you will explore, you will use variables and all, define methods and do a practice over there. Okay, because there are multiple things, whatever is necessary that I explained. So basic thing that I explained till now, types of inheritance and the flow when you create a child object, right? Okay, and the blocks, how the blocks will behave, which block will get executed once and then which block will get executed after that. Okay. Okay, now we'll take an example of okay, static. Anyhow, you guys understand, right? There is no need to explain the static workflow. Okay, now we'll see the constructor and all. Okay, how constructor behave, right? Constructor also I understand, like before creating a child object. Okay, let me create a parent object. So child object behavior you have seen. What about the parent? Parent object. Okay. Okay, I am not able to type. Okay, so I'm just creating a parent object right now, and then we'll see. So what is happening? Is there any child object or child constructor, anything getting invoked? No, right? Only the parents. Because when you create a parents object, there is no need to create a children. Parent object can be created and can created alone, right? It's not dependent upon the parent, child object, but child is always dependent upon the parent object, right? Before creating a parent object, JVM cannot create a child object. Clear? So basically, static block, instance block, and constructor, and then done. Right? Okay. Now we'll see. I will have a method here. Okay. Now I'm just removing. I'm going to the child, and I have this constructor, right? Okay. Let me remove everything. Let me remove everything. In parents also, what I will do, I will remove everything. Okay. So now I have this parent object, I have this child object. Parents object anyhow will not take any reference because parents object will get created in isolation without any dependency on child object. Okay. So now child object I'm creating. Okay. Now we'll see. So now I'm in parent. In parent is having two type of constructor. Okay. One is a straightforward simple constructor. Let me have one more constructor which is called int a and int b. So we call it parameterize constructor. Okay. So now parent is having parameterized construction. Now I'm in child class. Okay. And let me have parents, let parents have these two property int a and int b. Okay. Sorry. Int a, int b. So inside this one, how will initialize the value? Well, let me have this. So this dot a equal to a. In constructor we have already studied, right? Constructor we completed, right?
Yeah.
B. So now this is correct, right? I'm passing two values and these values are getting assigned to A and B respectively, right? Now come to the child. So in child, when I want to create a object of parents, I want to create an object of parents with these two values, not with the default one. So what I will do, okay, let me do one thing. Super is a keyword. So what super does? So it will point to immediate superclass. Who is the immediate superclass of child? Parents, right? So it's pointing to parent constructor. So when you don't pass anything, it will point to default constructor. Let us assume I'm passing 4 and 6. Just random value I'm passing 4 and 6. And we'll see what is happening. I will create an object of child, right? I'm creating object of child, right? Let me run this example. So which constructor get called? See here,
Class content.
did default constructor get called? No, because manually we are, first of all, we have overridden and then manually we have invoked this constructor. Okay. Now let me remove this. Okay. So now which one will get called?
Default constructor.
Default constructor. So what I am doing with the help of super, I am invoking parent class constructors inside child class. This is clear to you all, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that is the one flow. Another flow we'll see. Okay. Another example we'll take. Super class anyhow, like 5 minutes is remaining. So we'll see only constructor flow today. And then super class flow we'll see tomorrow. Sorry, I'm saying super class, super keyword. Okay. So let me have a class called XYZ I'm taking. Okay. Don't mind. So X class Y class Y class Z. Okay. So X extends to Y extend to X. Okay. And Z extends to Y. Clear? Right? Okay. Now what we'll have? We'll have a constructor on each. There we have X. And we'll have system.out.println. We'll say X. Only I will print X. So you will consider we are in X constructor. Right? Let me do here. Okay. Y to define constructor. Inside that. So let me print Y here. Let me have Z here. Okay. Let me have this Z. Sorry, Z. So now you guys have to tell me what will be the output. Okay. So X, Y, Z. So super class is X, then Y, and then Z, right? So we'll see here what will happen. Okay. So I will create call X, Y, Z. I will create object of Z obj equal to new Z. So what output will get? Any one of you can answer this question? Silence? No guess? So this, see, I am creating object of Z. So what will happen? Z object will where Z, right? Here I have Z. So here I have Z. So Z extend Y. So Y is a parent of Z and X is a parent of Y. Okay, now you have to guess the flow. So I'm getting Z object. So before getting Z object, which object we need to be get created? Y object. Before creating Y, which object we need to be get created? X, right? We'll see. What is printing here? X. So first object of X is getting created, then object of Y is getting created, then object of Z is getting created. So in this way, constructor will get invoked. Okay. Clear?